All right, thanks everybody for joining us today. Today we're going over the Greater Phoenix Metropolitan Market Statistics for the week ending June 22nd. Let's see what we have. 80 days closed on market this past week, a 4.02 months supply. Absorption rate was at 24.86. Average list price this past week, $754,247. Average sale price this past week, $645,940. And our list price to sale price retention came in at 97.32. Uh-oh. Well, we're not... Follow me. Inventory on the next line, active inventory at 25,559. That's down again. That's been 3 weeks in a row. Pending is sitting at 4,220. Closed units month to date at 4,448. New listings taken this past week, down 1.7% to 1979. We're now under that 2,000 mark. Days on market for active, 92, and for closed at 80. Looking at the lower left-hand side where we look at the price ranges for the active inventory, you can see pretty much every level, every price range of inventory took a decline, contracted just a little bit. So you'll see why. So taking a look at the spreadsheet overall, 1974 versus 2014. Remember, the benefit of this sheet is not the numbers that are all over the place. It's comparing the numbers week over week to see whether we're trending in a particular direction, kind of knowing it a little bit ahead of the market. Looking at month over month to see where we're going, quarter over quarter or year over year. So all of those things on one sheet. But looking at new listings, we're looking for that 2,400 number. So 1979 is really significantly low. But we also get to compare it to last year's numbers, same week and the week and the year before that. So in comparison overall, we're still in a balanced market year over year, which is a good sign. Looking at active inventory, 25,559. That's made up of 513 coming soon properties, 19,320 single-family detached, 2,256 new homes are in there, 25,013 total non-distressed properties. Looking at inventory year over year, Lawrence Yun did a report this past week and was talking about the market on a national level, saying that the inventory is increasing. That's a good sign everywhere. That stable interest rates are stable. That's a good sign everywhere. Well, Phoenix is just not that same market. We're sitting at 25. We're declining a little bit in inventory. We also don't have the number of buyers entering the marketplace as some of the other markets do. And again, it's indicative of the numbers that we're seeing here. So taking a look at pending, which is the buyers in the marketplace at any one time, 4,220. Last year, again, we were at 3964 this same week. However, slide your eyes over the blue month over months, and you'll see that the month end, so not the week over week numbers, but the month end numbers were at 6,681 last year. So again, we're significantly lower than we were as far as buyers in the marketplace. Looking at closed, 4448. 2/3 of the way through the market, through the month. This is starting to be a number we're going to be able to count on by this point. Looks like we're going to be up 4.6%. Last month we were up 4.3%. The month before that, up 4%. So if you're really talking about the marketplace with people, sure, there's not as many buyers in the marketplace in comparison to what you hear. The inventory is not increasing; it's decreasing. So that's what's keeping this month's supply still at about 4.02. We're looking for a 2.5 to 3 month supply, which would really be the brisk number that we're looking for. However, we're just not going to get there this year, and we're not going to get there for a couple of reasons. But the biggest reason is this is not a recovery year. This is just a maintenance year. This is a year when it's time for us to get all of our ducks in a row, become proficient in absolutely everything that we touch, so that at the end of the year, when the market is purportedly supposed to come back and be on a 10 to 15 year run, then in that particular point, we'll be prepared for the marketplace. So the median sale price, $463. So that's nice because, again, it's still hovering right within that $5,000 price range all year long. So market pricing is not going up, but it's not necessarily coming down. So to the victor goes the spoils, which is what we usually say, which means if you are working for a buyer, you're a buyer's agent. It's a buyer's market as far as you're concerned. If you're working for a seller, it's a seller's market as far as you're concerned. But the reality is consumers behave differently based on their own personal needs, not necessarily based on the market. So if they're in the game today, there's a reason. Your job is to protect your client as best you can. List price to sale price retention is at 97.32. That's up, but it's well within that 0.5% number that we're looking for to say, again, sellers aren't giving up that much. They're giving up in this case, 2.7% off the list price. Does every single buyer want a discount? Well, they want to pay less. But what happens if they need proceeds? They need seller assistance, concessions. Then again, maybe you're not going to get this big discount off the price, but you can build it into the transaction on the other side.
Well, it was really interesting because I tell everybody, especially when we do our new agent orientation, pay attention to the slides, pay attention to Justin's slides, because when somebody asks you a question about the market, you want to be the guy or gal that knows the answer. And last week, I had some clients in from Little Rock, Arkansas. She's a TC out there. And we're driving, we're looking at some homes, and she goes, "So what is the list price to sell price percentage here in our market?" First time ever. I'm like, I know pick me. I know the answer.
I know.
So
yeah,
go figure.
That's good stuff. Well, thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. So everybody, there's your reason for hanging on for that once in a lifetime question.
Thank you, Todd.